There are so many things, important things, that need our attention every day. And so making time for the things that really matter is just about choices. And sometimes it can be tricky deciding which things matter more than others. Hi, I'm Megan, and welcome back to Moments That Matter. Well, you get coaching Megan this morning. I showed up at the field about 30 minutes early before our training session, and so this is when I have time today to sit down and make a video. But I was thinking about something pretty important on the way over here, this idea of making time for the moments that matter. You know, I'm a few videos in and I'm already starting to feel that doubt and even that guilt of choosing to do something like this. And is this really what I should be spending my time doing? This is so common as a mom. It's really hard to make decisions to do something for yourself or do something that you want that kind of takes you away from your role as mom. Now, I definitely do take time for myself at this stage of my life. It wasn't always easy, and it still isn't always easy. When my kids were younger, it's a lot harder to step away just because there's so much need there. So I know that if I step away from my children for a little bit, then that is falling on somebody else, right? Like our kids are so reliant on us when they're young that I really did feel bad sometimes when I would make time to do something for myself and feel like I was literally choosing myself and my needs over my kids' needs. But now that my kids are older and they're more self-sufficient, the guilt isn't as strong, but it definitely is still there. I think at every stage of motherhood, I have struggled with feelings of not being enough, not doing enough. And it's super easy for me to look at the things that I'm not doing, or some of the things that I am doing that I feel like I probably shouldn't be doing. It's easy to see all the ways that I should be better. It really can feel like a constant battle, talking myself into being okay with what I'm doing and convincing myself that I am enough, but also balancing that with working towards being better and setting goals for myself and just wanting to improve and progress. It's a very strange battle that never really goes away. I don't know if I've ever been in a stage of life where I feel completely confident and satisfied with my job as a mom, the job that I'm doing as a mom. There's always something that I feel like I should be doing better. I have been feeling this need to take time to record the thoughts that are on my mind, the experiences that I'm having. But in order to do that, I have to make time for that, which means it's taking time away from other things that I'm doing. So what is more important? Is it more important to make the time to sit down and talk about what's on my mind, what I've been learning, what I've experienced, and make a video and then spend the time editing the video? And do I even really need to be sharing it on the internet, right? Like that, all of that takes time. Is that time that I should be spending doing something else as a mom, as a wife, as a friend? What is more important? That is hard to know the answer. I feel like I have been going through life for many years, not making the time to record my thoughts and my feelings. And I'm really sad that I don't have that, especially through these really important years, formative years of my children as they're transitioning into adulthood. And we've gone through some challenges and huge learning experiences. I wish that I had a better record of that and what I was feeling and what I was thinking. And I just don't, because I didn't make time for it. Mostly because I was right in the thick of all sorts of things, and I didn't really feel like I had enough energy or bandwidth to make time for anything else. So I recognize the importance of doing this. Now, is this the format in which I should be doing it? Because this could be taking more time than if I just wrote it down in a journal. It definitely is taking more time than just me recording videos, because like I said, I'm spending time editing them, doing things after I record the video. So I don't know, but so this is on my mind. I'm not sure that I even really have a main message to share that is, I don't necessarily have this like wrapped up in a bow, but I guess that's how life goes, right? Like that's the reality. And if I'm wanting to share different moments, it's not just the moments that I have the answers to my thoughts or my challenges, but it is just about choices. I'm gonna pause here and come back to this video after my training session, because I have to do some things to get set up and ready for that, and maybe I'll have some insights while we play lacrosse, and I'll come back. Okay, my training session's over. I had to change my location because it's so stinking hot out on that field that my phone kept turning off because it was just overheating. Anyway, so I'm over here in the shade and the angle's kind of weird. When I paused the video before and went into my lacrosse training session, I remembered a time when my kids were really little and I was going to the gym every day, and I was making time for that because I also was really into running races then, and so I would be following a training schedule, which it was just part of our routine. We went to the gym every day, and I would bring my kids to the child watch area, and they would spend an hour and a half there every day. I remember feeling unsure if that was a good thing for me to do as a mom. I remember thinking and feeling like it was selfish that I was choosing every day to put my kids in this child watch area and do something for myself every day. And I really struggled with that. And I kept thinking, do I really need to do races? I could just come to the gym 3 times a week. That still would be good. That'd be good for my health. Do I really need to do it every day? Do I really need to go on 10-mile runs, right, to train for half marathons? I could just be running 5Ks and 10Ks. Do I really need to be doing this? And I was feeling really guilty that I wasn't spending that time with my kids. It really was hard. You know, now older, I'm thinking, of course, that's an okay thing to do. But I really struggled with that. I prayed about it and I thought about it, and I really was trying to figure out, like, I was really trying to do the right thing. I wanted to be a good mom. I didn't want to be selfish. I wanted to put their needs ahead of my needs because I knew the importance of my role as their mom raising my kids. The thought that I got and the impression that I got that felt really true and gave me a lot of peace was anything that helps you be a better mom is a good thing for you to do. And anything that makes it hard for you to be a good mom is probably something that you don't need to be doing. If spending an hour or 2 away from my kids exercising makes it so that I can show up for them in a better way later, that's going to be a good thing. If training for 1 or 2 hours a day makes me grumpy when I'm with my kids, or it makes it so I'm distracted and I can't be showing up for my kids in ways that they need, maybe I should think about how I'm spending my time. Now again, in my older, wiser years, I know that I'm not going to be perfect all the time. I know that. I've accepted that. So I'm not always going to show up as a mom in a perfect way. I'm human. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to have good days. I'm going to have bad days. I'm going to feel good some days. I'm going to feel bad other days. I'm going to lose my patience. I'm going to be frustrated. But if I'm looking at the big picture, if taking an hour or two away from my kids helps me show up better for them, if it energizes me, if it motivates me, if it gives me something to look forward to so that I don't get stuck in the ruts of motherhood, then that's going to be a good thing. I don't know if this channel is going to be that. I want it to be that. I don't want it to be something that takes away from my ability to be a mom in a good way. I don't want it to cause resentment in my family. I don't want it to be causing me to be neglectful of my responsibilities and roles as a mom and a wife and a friend. I just finished coaching lacrosse for an hour and a half. And whenever I do that, I feel more myself. You know, I've struggled with lacrosse because I love it so much, so passionate about it, that I can easily get sucked into it and distracted. And it's to the point where I do sometimes forget and neglect the things that I need to be doing at home. I'll spend more time than I need to thinking about lacrosse, planning for lacrosse, analyzing stats, all of these things that I do need to watch myself and learn how to shut it off so that I can switch to my role as mom at home. But when I'm like, it makes me feel a little bit emotional, actually. I feel silly that I'm getting emotional about this, but when I'm on the field, I feel more like myself than I ever have. I love it so much, and I love being able to share it with other people. So going and coaching for an hour and a half, it helps remind me who I am, that I'm a person, that I love things, that I'm good at things, that I have things to contribute, because you can lose that so easily in motherhood. I hope that this channel is something that is positive in my life and in the life of my family and for other people that are listening and watching, because that's all I really want this to be. I want this to be a positive thing. I want it to be an enriching part of my life, creating a record so that I can look back, my kids can look back and realize the things that were on my mind and my heart, and things that I learned, and things that were important, and things that mattered to me. And I do think that that will be of value in the future. Like all things right now, I'm kind of battling the choices that I'm making with my time. There is always going to be something that you can be doing better. Always. In any moment. There are always going to be choices with what we spend our time doing every minute of every day. It's important to find balance. It's important to be honest with ourselves about how much time we need for ourselves versus how much time we need to be dedicating to our responsibilities and our duties, to our family, to our jobs, to our homes, to our relationships. The more reliant our kids are on us when they're younger, the harder it is to make time for ourselves. I have found as my kids become more self-reliant, it becomes harder for me to manage my me time. It's really tempting to spend more and more time doing the things that I want to do and put off things that I need to do, and convince myself that my kids don't need me to do this, my kids don't need me to be there for this, my kids could do that on their own, my family's okay, which is true, but I still have a responsibility and a duty there. I feel like this video is a little bit of a downer. I'm not meaning for it to be a downer. I just want to be real. The inner battle between me time and family time is such a real thing. And I don't know if it's ever going to go away. If you're watching this video and you have similar feelings to this, or you have had similar feelings to this, you're not alone. Being a mom is super hard. Life is super hard. It's all about choices, and there's always going to be something that you're choosing not to do in order to do something that you want to do or you feel like you need to do. And sometimes we might get it right and sometimes we might not. And again, that's part of life, that's part of learning. I think it's just important to continue to take inventory on where we're spending our time, how we're spending our time, where we're putting our energy, where we're putting our efforts. I think balance is important. Right now I'm feeling a little bit unsure. Let me know how you deal with these moments when you're feeling unsure about the decisions you're making about your time. How do you manage these battles inside? How do you manage the mom guilt? How do you balance your responsibilities with time for yourself and keep yourself in check too, that you're not being neglectful of the things that matter the most? Thanks for being here with me while I kind of process this externally, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching and making time with me to capture the moments that matter. If you liked this video, think about subscribing and joining me next time.